The moment you go silent, she loses the man whose attention used to make her feel desired. That is when everything changes, folks. Before your silence, she knew you were there. One cold reply, and you tried harder. One soft message, and you came back. One small sign of warmth, and you gave her your time, your loyalty, your masculine energy, and your desire all over again. But she did not value it. She rejected your effort. She dismissed your presence. She treated your care like something ordinary. And the more you explained, the more comfortable she became with having access to you without respecting you. Maybe you sent the long message. Maybe you asked for one honest conversation. Maybe you lowered your pride just to make her understand what she was losing. But my friend, words do not wake up someone who has become addicted to your availability. Absence does. Not childish silence, not bitter silence, stoic silence. The kind that removes your warmth, protects your dignity, and lets her feel the cold space she created when she pushed you away. In public, she may act fine. She may laugh, post, and pretend nothing changed. But in private, when your name no longer lights up her phone, your silence starts speaking clearly. In this video, you will learn how they realize you are gone, why they wear a mask of indifference, how regret begins, why replacements fail, and how the silent void reveals the truth. Let's get into it. Number 1. Realize you are gone. Let's be honest, folks. The first thing your silence does is not make her panic. It makes her notice the space where you used to stand. Before you went silent, your presence was part of her routine. Maybe she did not respect it, but she counted on it. The text she could ignore, the call she could delay, the attention she could receive without giving much back, the masculine warmth she could lean on when she felt lonely, bored, uncertain, or in need of reassurance. She may have acted like it meant nothing, but your access had become comfortable. Then one day it stops. No good morning message, no checking in, no follow-up after her cold reply, no emotional paragraph trying to make her understand, no soft landing for her disrespect. Suddenly the man who used to fill the silence is no longer there to cushion it. And that is when reality starts getting loud. Look at Charles, 52, a warehouse operations manager in Cleveland. He had been seeing Renee, 47, a woman with sharp beauty, a warm laugh, and a way of pulling him close whenever she wanted comfort. Charles liked her deeply. He made time after long shifts. He fixed things around her condo. He listened when her ex-husband drama got heavy. He was steady, available, and loyal. But Renee became careless with him. She cancelled plans late. She gave short replies. She would disappear for a day, then come back with a sweet voice like nothing happened. Charles kept accepting it because he thought patience would prove his value. The more he gave, the less she seemed to respect. Finally, after one more cold message, Charles did something different. He did not argue. He did not ask what changed. He did not send one more explanation. He went silent. At first, Renee acted normal. She posted a dinner photo. She laughed with friends. She probably told herself Charles would come around. After all, he always had before. But 3 days passed, then 5, then a week. No message, no reaction, no familiar masculine presence waiting in the background. That is the first stage, realization. She realizes you are gone, not just quiet. Quiet can still mean waiting. Gone means access has changed. Gone means the old version of you is not standing there with open hands hoping to be chosen again. Gone means she cannot reach into your life and pull out attention whenever her ego gets hungry. And my friend, this is where you must be careful. The moment you imagine her noticing your absence, your old weakness may whisper, maybe I should check in. Maybe I should let her know I still care. Maybe she is hurting. Do not do it. Every time you break silence too early, you teach her that your absence has a time limit. Silence only works when it also works on you. You are not sitting in a dark room waiting for her to realize your value. You are redirecting your energy back into your own life. Train, work, clean your space, reconnect with friends, build the man who no longer needs to be rescued by her attention. If she feels your absence, the silence will reveal it. If she feels nothing, the silence will reveal that too. Either way, you win because you finally see the truth. That is why this stage is not about revenge. It is about clarity. When your absence finally has room to breathe, both of you discover whether your presence was loved, used, or simply taken for granted before. If you are ready to stop filling the empty space for someone who rejected your value, write this in the comments. I choose myself. Stay with me because the next part shows why breaking your silence too soon gives back the power you just reclaimed. Number 2. Stop breaking your silence. Now listen carefully, folks, because this is where most men lose the ground they just fought to reclaim. They finally go silent. They stop texting. They stop explaining. They stop giving warmth to someone who kept rejecting it. Then the discomfort rises, and suddenly their hand reaches for the phone again. That is the trap. You start thinking, maybe she misunderstood me. Maybe I should send one last message. Maybe I should let her know I am not angry. Maybe I should check if she is okay. But my friend, every time you break your silence too soon, you reset the entire dynamic. You teach her that your absence is temporary. You teach her that your self-respect can be negotiated if the emotional pressure gets high enough. Silence only has weight when you stop treating it like a performance. If your silence is just a pause before another paragraph, it is not power, it is delayed chasing. If your silence is only meant to make her react, you are still controlled by her reaction. Real Stoic silence is different. It is not a trick. It is not a tantrum. It is a decision to stop pouring your energy into someone who has already shown you they do not know how to value it. Epictetus said, first, say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do. That means if you say you are a man of self-respect, then you must act like it when your emotions start begging for relief. If you say you are done being taken for granted, then you do not run back the moment silence feels uncomfortable. And it will feel uncomfortable. At night, when the room is quiet, your mind will try to bargain with you. It will replay her smile. It will replay the good moments. It will whisper that maybe one message could fix everything. But ask yourself this: did your messages fix it before? Did your explanations make her value you more? Did your availability make her respect your heart? No. It made access too easy. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Her response is an outside event. Her regret is an outside event. Her silence, her pride, her confusion, her next move, all outside your control. What is yours is your discipline, your restraint, your refusal to go backward just because your attachment is loud. So stop breaking your silence to soothe your anxiety. Let the silence do its work on both sides. Let her sit with the absence she created. Let yourself sit with the urge to reach out without obeying it. That is how you become stronger. Not by feeling nothing, but by refusing to act beneath yourself while you feel everything. Here is the truth. If she truly values you, your silence will make her feel the difference between your presence and your absence. If she does not, then breaking silence would not create value anyway. It would only give you another round of disappointment, dressed up as hope. A man who keeps reopening the door before respect appears is not loving deeply. He is training someone to treat his peace like a revolving entrance. So hold your ground. Do not explain the boundary. Do not decorate your absence with emotional updates. Do not send a message just to prove you still care. Your care was already shown. Your loyalty was already shown. Now your self-respect must be shown too. If you are ready to stop giving your power back, write this in the comments. I stay silent. Let's keep going, because the next part shows how their mask of indifference appears right when your silence starts reaching places your words never could. Number 3. Watch their mask appear. Let's be straight, folks. When your silence starts working, they will not always show pain right away. They may do the opposite. They may smile louder, post more, act busier, laugh with friends, and make it look like your absence has not touched them at all. That is the mask. Do not be fooled by it. When someone has been used to your attention, your warmth, your masculine desire, and your steady presence, they do not usually admit discomfort immediately. Pride steps in first. Ego puts on a suit. The face says, "I am fine." The behavior says, "I do not care." But underneath, something is shifting because the person they expected to keep reaching has stopped reaching. Think about Marcus, 56, a sales manager in Dallas. He had been involved with Tasha, 48, a woman who knew exactly how to keep him emotionally close without giving him full respect. When she wanted comfort, she called. When she wanted help, Marcus came through. When she felt lonely, she leaned into his attention. But when Marcus needed consistency, she became vague, distant, and suddenly too busy. After months of this, Marcus went silent. The first week, Tasha acted untouched. She posted photos from brunch. She shared quotes about peace. She showed up at a mutual friend's birthday, laughing, dressed sharp, looking like a woman completely unbothered. Marcus saw one photo and felt the old weakness rise in his chest. He thought, maybe she never cared. Maybe my silence means nothing. Maybe I should say something just to know. But he did not. That decision mattered, because what Marcus did not see was what happened after the pictures. Tasha checked her phone more than usual. She wondered why he had not reacted. She expected him to view her stories quickly, but he did not. She expected some sign that he was still emotionally available, but there was nothing. The mask was working in public, but privately, it was getting heavy. This is why you must not panic when the mask appears. Their indifference may be a shield, not the truth. It may be a way to protect their ego from admitting they lost access to someone who truly cared. They want you to think they are unaffected, because if you believe the mask, you might break first. Do not give them that victory. A man with self-respect does not chase behind someone's performance. He observes. He keeps building. He lets time separate truth from theater. If they are truly indifferent, time will reveal it. If they are pretending, time will crack the mask. Either way, your job is not to investigate. Your job is to stay grounded. The danger is reacting to what they show you online or in public. Social media is not reality. A smile in a photo is not peace. A night out is not healing. A loud display of confidence can be a cover for quiet discomfort. And even if they are genuinely fine, your silence is still protecting you from pouring energy into someone who rejected your value. Marcus learned this. Instead of checking Tasha's posts, he muted her. He trained after work. He spent weekends with his brother. He stopped studying her mask and started rebuilding his own strength. That is when his silence became real. He finally understood that looking for proof of her pain was still another form of attachment, and attachment was the chain he needed to break. So when their mask appears, do not flinch, do not explain, do not ask if they miss you. Let the performance exhaust itself while you become harder to reach. If you are ready to stay steady behind the mask, write this in the comments. I stay unshaken. Stay tuned, because the next part shows why indifference can test your discipline right before regret begins to rise. Number 4. Stay unshaken by indifference. Now listen carefully, folks, because indifference is one of the hardest tests of your silence. Not rejection, not distance, indifference. That calm face, that cold tone, that public performance where they act like your absence means nothing. This is where many men lose discipline, because they confuse the mask with the truth and start fighting to be felt again. Do not make that mistake. When someone acts indifferent after rejecting you, your ego wants proof. You want to know if they miss you. You want to know if the silence is reaching them. You want to see one crack, one sign, one late-night message, one small confession that your absence is finally hurting. But my friend, the second you need proof, they still control you. A Stoic man does not measure his strength by their reaction. Epictetus said, circumstances do not make the man, they only reveal him to himself. Their indifference is not just revealing them, It is revealing you. Can you stay calm when your pride feels ignored? Can you keep your dignity when they pretend you were easy to lose? Can you remain silent when every insecure part of you wants to shake them awake? That is the real battlefield. Indifference is often a defense mechanism. It is the first shield people lift when they do not want to face guilt, loss, or emotional discomfort. They may laugh louder, post more, flirt publicly, and act free. Let them. You are not here to audit their performance. You are here to protect your peace. And understand this clearly. Even if their indifference is real, your response stays the same. If they are pretending, your silence exposes it over time. If they truly do not care, your silence saves you from wasting more life on someone who never valued you deeply. Either way, you win by not reacting. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The best revenge is not to be like your enemy." So do not become dramatic because they are cold. Do not become bitter because they are proud. Do not become desperate because they are quiet. Their behavior is theirs. Your character is yours. This is where silence becomes more than absence. It becomes self-command. You stop watching for clues. You stop reading into posts. You stop asking friends what they said. You stop turning their performance into your emotional weather. You return to your body, your work, your faith, your home, your discipline, your future. Folks, if you want deeper members-only lessons on staying calm during emotional tests like this, join the channel membership. Inside, we go further into Stoic silence, masculine restraint, and how to keep your frame when someone tries to make you feel invisible. This is where men stop reacting and start leading themselves. Remember, their indifference is not your instruction. It is not a command for you to chase. It is not evidence that you should explain yourself one more time. It is simply information. And a man with wisdom observes information without surrendering his power to it. So stand still. Let them wear the mask. Let them act untouched. Let them convince the world if they need to. You are not responsible for managing their image. You are responsible for maintaining your own self-respect. When you stay unshaken, you become dangerous to the old dynamic. They expected reaction. They expected weakness. They expected you to prove you still cared. Instead, they meet a man who is calm, quiet, and no longer available for emotional games. If you are ready to stay steady when they act cold, write this in the comments. I stay unshaken. Stay with me, because the next part shows how regret begins to find them when your silence refuses to break. Number 5. Let regret find them. Let's be real, folks. Regret does not arrive because you explain harder. Regret arrives when your absence gives the truth enough silence to breathe. At first, they may act fine. They may wear the mask. They may tell themselves you were too sensitive, too available, too serious, or too easy to replace. But when your silence stays firm, something starts happening beneath the surface. Memories return, not all at once. Not like a movie, more like small cuts. The dinner you planned, the way you checked on them after a long day, the patience you gave when they were difficult, the masculine steadiness they leaned on without appreciating it. That is when regret begins to find them. Think about Kenneth, 57, a logistics director in Charlotte. He spent nearly a year with Michelle, 51, a woman who had charm, beauty, and that polished confidence that made him feel proud to be seen with her. Kenneth was steady. He drove across town after work. He helped her handle problems with her house. He listened when her adult daughter stressed her out. He gave warmth, attention, and the kind of loyalty many women say they want. But not all women know how to value when it is right in front of them. Michelle treated it casually. She cancelled plans. She replied when she felt like it. She accepted his support, then acted distant when he wanted emotional honesty. Eventually, after another dismissive conversation, Kenneth stopped explaining and went silent. No angry message, no goodbye speech, no final attempt to make her understand. For the first few days, Michelle acted untouched. She went to brunch. She posted photos. She told a friend Kenneth was probably just being dramatic, but then the small things started. Her kitchen sink leaked, and Kenneth was not there to fix it. She had a rough workday. and his calm voice was not waiting on the other end of the phone. She checked her messages at night and realized there was no familiar name, no steady man asking if she got home safe. That is regret. Not just missing attention, not just missing convenience. Regret is when a person starts seeing the value inside what they treated like nothing. It is when the comfort they took for granted becomes a silence they cannot ignore. But listen carefully, my friend. Their regret is not your assignment. You are not supposed to run back the moment you imagine them feeling bad. You are not their emotional rescue team. If they feel regret, let them feel it. If they replay what they did, let them replay it. If they finally understand the cost of undervaluing you, that is their lesson to carry. This is where many men lose power. They sense regret and rush in too early. They mistake a soft message for accountability. They see one sad post and think maybe she finally gets it. Then they return, and all the pressure disappears. She no longer has to face the full weight of what she lost, because you saved her from it. Do not interrupt regret. Let it do its work. Let it sharpen the truth. Let it separate real remorse from temporary loneliness. A person who truly regrets losing you will not just send crumbs. They will show humility, consistency, and changed behavior. Until then, your silence remains your boundary. Kenneth learned this. When Michelle finally texted, "I hope you are doing okay," he did not jump. He waited. He observed. He remembered that regret without responsibility is only emotion, and emotion alone does not rebuild respect. If you are ready to stop rescuing people from the regret they created, write this in the comments. I know worth. Stick with me because the next part shows why a replacement is often just a distraction from the space you left behind. Number 6. Do not fear replacement. Now listen carefully, folks, because this stage can hit a man in the chest. After you go silent, they may run towards someone new, a new face, a body, a new voice, a new source of attention that helps them avoid the empty space your absence created. If you are not grounded, you will look at that replacement and start questioning your value. Do not do that. A replacement is not always a victory. Many times it is a distraction. It is a bandage over a wound they do not want to clean. They do not want to sit alone with regret, so they fill the room with noise. They do not want to face the silence, so they find someone who makes them feel wanted for a moment. But temporary comfort is not the same as connection. The Stoic man understands this. He does not panic because someone else enters the picture. He does not compare his body, his money, his age, his charm, or his sexual energy to another man. He knows comparison is a trap. It drags your mind away from what you control and throws it into a game you cannot win with dignity. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." Their new person is an outside event. Their photos are outside events. Their public performance is an outside event. Your discipline, your silence, your standards, and your direction are yours. Stay with what is yours. If they try to replace you quickly, let that reveal something. It may reveal they cannot sit with discomfort. It may reveal they need constant validation. It may reveal they would rather borrow warmth from someone new than face the cold truth of how they treated you. That is not proof you were worthless. That is proof they are running. Seneca said, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." Remember that when your mind starts building scenes you did not see. You imagine them laughing, touching, planning, desiring each other, and suddenly you are torturing yourself with a movie your ego produced. Stop giving peace to images you created. You do not know the truth of that connection. You only know your next move, and your next move is still silence. Do not compete with the replacement. Do not post to prove you are better. Do not send a message dressed as maturity, but fueled by jealousy. Do not ask friends for details. Every time you investigate, you place yourself beneath the situation. You become the man looking through the window of a house he should have left behind. A man with self-respect does not audition against a distraction. He keeps moving. Understand this, my friend. If what you gave was real, it cannot be duplicated by someone who merely fills time. Your patience, your presence, your protection, your loyalty, your history, those things are not replaced overnight. They may find excitement. They may find novelty. They may find a body close enough to make the silence less sharp. But novelty fades. Distraction gets tired. Then the truth waits underneath. If they truly valued you, the replacement will not erase you. It will highlight the difference. If they never valued you, the replacement frees you from wasting life trying to be seen by someone spiritually blind. Either way, do not fear it. Let them run where they want. Let them test the emptiness with someone else. Let them learn whether the space you left can be filled. Meanwhile, build, train, heal, return to your path. Stop measuring your worth by who stands beside them. If you are ready to stop fearing replacement, write this in the comments. I am irreplaceable. Stay close, because the next part shows how their world starts cracking when distractions can no longer cover the truth. Number 7. Their world starts cracking. Let's be real, folks. When distractions stop working, the cracks begin to show. At first, they believed life would continue the same without you. They thought your silence was just a mood. They thought the attention from other people, the busy schedule, the public smile, and the new excitement would cover the space you left behind. But eventually, temporary noise gets tired. That is when their world starts cracking. Not always in some dramatic way. Sometimes it is quieter than that. They feel restless at night. Their conversations feel thinner. The people they used to use for distraction do not give them the same calm you once gave. The new attention feels exciting for a moment, but it does not bring depth. They start realizing that you were not just another person in their life. You were a source of stability they took for granted. Think about Anthony, 54, a small business owner in Tampa. He had been involved with Karen, 49, a woman who loved his steadiness when her life felt messy. Anthony helped her through problems with her teenage son, listened after stressful days, and showed up when other people only offered words. Karen enjoyed the comfort, but she did not respect the cost. She became dismissive, cancelled plans, and acted like Anthony would always be there. After one final cold exchange, Anthony went silent. At first, Karen acted like nothing changed. She filled her weekends. She went out with friends. She posted smiling photos from a rooftop bar downtown. She even started spending time with a man from her office who gave her attention and made things feel fresh. From the outside, it looked like she had moved on cleanly, but inside the cracks started. The new man was fun, but he was not steady. Her friends listened, but they did not carry the same calm. When a problem hit, Anthony was not there to help her think clearly. When she came home late and the house felt quiet, there was no message asking if she made it home safe. The absence started touching ordinary moments. That is how real loss works. It does not always scream. It shows up in the places where your presence used to quietly hold everything together. This is where you must stay disciplined, my friend. When their world starts cracking, you may feel tempted to step in. You may feel guilty. You may think, maybe now they understand. Maybe I should be kind and check on them. But remember, you are not their emotional repairman anymore. They need to face the consequences of undervaluing you without your hands rushing in to rebuild what they broke. That does not mean you wish harm on them. A Stoic man does not need someone to suffer for him to feel powerful. He simply refuses to rescue people from lessons they earned. Their discomfort is not your command, even when your heart still remembers them alone at night. Their chaos is not your responsibility. Their regret is not a contract pulling you back. Anthony understood this. When Karen sent a casual message saying things have been weird lately, he did not jump into caretaker mode. He did not ask what happened. He did not offer to fix it. He stayed calm and kept his distance because he finally knew the truth. Her world cracking did not mean he should abandon his own peace. Let the cracks reveal what was hidden. Let them learn whether their life was stronger with you because they valued you, or because they used you as a foundation, while giving very little back. If you are ready to stop repairing what they broke, write this in the comments. I hold strength. Stay with me because the next part shows why the silent void becomes the mirror they can no longer escape. Number 8. Let them face the void. Now listen carefully, folks, because the silent void is where the truth becomes impossible to avoid. After the mask gets heavy, after the distractions lose their shine, after the replacement stops feeling like an escape, they are left with something they cannot talk their way around: empty space. That space is not just the absence of your messages, it is the absence of your warmth, your patience, your masculine steadiness, the way you used to make them feel desired, understood, supported and safe, even when they were giving you less than you deserved. When all of that disappears, the room gets cold in a way they did not expect. This is the void. It does not always hit like thunder. Sometimes it works slowly. Morning comes and your name is not on the phone. Night comes and there is no familiar check-in. A problem appears, and the person who used to help them breathe through it is no longer available. They reach for the old comfort, and their hand closes around nothing. That nothing is powerful. But this is also where your discipline gets tested again, my friend. Because when you imagine them struggling in that silence, something inside you may want to rescue them. You may feel guilty. You may think maybe they have suffered enough. Maybe I should just say something. Maybe I should remind them, I am still here. Do not do it. You are not responsible for filling the void they created by rejecting your value. If your presence was so easy to dismiss, then your absence must be allowed to teach what your words could not. This is not cruelty. This is consequence. A Stoic man does not chase someone into understanding. He steps back and lets reality complete the lesson. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The best revenge is not to be like your enemy, so do not become bitter, do not become dramatic, do not celebrate their pain. Just remain steady, let the silence stand. Let them face the empty space, without your emotional labor rushing in to soften it." The silent void is a mirror. It shows them what they had, what they ignored, and what they no longer control. If they truly valued you underneath the pride, this void will force reflection. They may begin to ask themselves why they pushed away someone steady, why they treated your care like a convenience, why they assumed your loyalty would keep waiting no matter how casually they handled it. And if they do not feel the void, that is also truth. Do you hear that, folks? Silence does not only reveal their regret, it reveals whether there was anything real beneath the surface. If they can lose your presence and feel nothing, then your silence has saved you from a deeper waste of time. That clarity may hurt, but it is clean pain. Clean pain frees you. Confusing hope keeps you chained. Epictetus said, "Do not seek for things to happen as you wish, but wish for them to happen as they do, and your life will go smoothly." That is your mindset here. Do not demand that the void make them return. Do not demand that they suffer. Do not demand a confession. Let what is real reveal itself. Meanwhile, build yourself. Let the void work on them while your discipline works on you. Train, focus, sleep well, protect your peace. Become stronger in the same silence they are struggling to understand. Your silence is not empty, brother. It is full of standards, full of restraint, and full of the man you are becoming now for your future. If you are ready to let silence reveal the truth, write this in the comments. I protect peace. Stay close, because the next part shows whether they break down in regret or finally break through into real accountability. Number 9. See if they break through. Let's be honest, folks. Silence does not always bring the same result. Some people break down under the weight of what they lost. Others break through and finally face the truth. Your job is not to force either outcome. Your job is to stay steady long enough to see which one is real. This is the stage where the mask has cracked, the distractions have faded, and the silent void has done its work. Now they are standing in front of the consequences. They can keep denying, keep blaming, keep running to noise, or they can stop and ask the question they avoided from the beginning. What did I do to push away someone who truly cared? That question separates regret from accountability. Think about Paul, 55, a regional manager in Columbus. He had been seeing Angela, 49, a woman with charm, warmth, and a sharp, emotional instinct. Angela liked Paul's stability. She liked how safe his presence felt after years of unstable men. But over time, she started treating that stability like it was guaranteed. She cancelled plans, gave half effort, and expected Paul to remain patient because he always had. Eventually, Paul went silent. At first, Angela acted untouched. Then she tried distracting herself. Then she reached the empty space where Paul's steady attention used to live. Weeks later, she sent him a message. Not a dramatic confession. Not a soft little test. A real message. She said she had been thinking about how she treated him, that she had taken his consistency for granted, and that she understood if he did not want to respond. That is different, my friend. A person breaking through does not just miss your attention. They recognize their behavior. They do not only say, "I miss you," they say, "I see where I failed to value you." They do not come back demanding warmth. They come back with humility. That is accountability, and even then you still do not rush. You observe whether the words become actions, but not everyone breaks through. Some people break down instead. They feel regret, but they turn it into resentment. They miss you, but they blame you for leaving. They want access back, but they do not want to grow. They may send a message that says, "I guess you never cared, or so you are just going to ignore me now." That is not love. That is ego trying to regain control through guilt. Paul knew the difference. When Angela reached out, he did not melt. He did not celebrate like a starving man finally being fed. He stayed calm. He read the message, waited, and watched her behavior over time. Because a strong man does not hand back access because of one emotional moment. He lets consistency prove what words announce. This is where your silence becomes a filter. It shows who can grow and who can only react. It reveals who respects your absence and who only hates losing control. It exposes whether they want to understand you or simply want you back in your old role. And listen carefully, folks. If they break through, you still choose from self-respect, not loneliness. If they break down, you let them stay with the lesson. You are not responsible for lifting them out of a hole they refuse to climb from. So, watch calmly. Do not chase the apology. Do not demand the breakthrough. Let silence show you their level. If they grow, you will see it. If they stay the same, you will see that too. Either answer is freedom. If you are ready to let truth reveal itself, write this in the comments. I see truth. Stay with me, because the final part shows why choosing freedom over waiting is the moment your power fully returns. Number 10. Choose freedom over waiting. Here is the final truth, folks. Your silence was never meant to become another waiting room. It was not meant to turn you into a man staring at his phone, measuring your worth by whether someone finally comes back with regret in their voice. Silence begins as a boundary, but freedom begins when you stop waiting for their reaction. That is the difference. A lot of men go silent, but they are not free. They stop texting, yet their mind still circles the same person every night. They do not call, but they keep hoping for a message. They do not check in, but they check stories, mutual friends, and little signs like detectives, looking for proof that the silence is working. My friend, that is not freedom. That is attachment wearing discipline's jacket. Choosing freedom over waiting means you stop making their breakthrough the center of your life. Maybe they realize what they lost, maybe they do not. Maybe regret humbles them, maybe pride hardens them. Maybe they return with accountability. Maybe they disappear into the same patterns that made them lose you in the first place. None of that can be your prison anymore. Because the real Stoic victory is not that they come back. The real victory is that you come back to yourself. Think about everything this silence has shown you. It showed you how much energy you were giving away. It showed you how often you abandoned your priorities to stay available. It showed you how painful it can be when your care is treated like something ordinary. But it also showed you something stronger. You can survive without their attention. You can stand without their approval. You can move forward without one more explanation. That is freedom. Do not confuse freedom with bitterness. Bitterness says, I hope they suffer. Freedom says, I no longer organize my life around what they feel. Bitterness keeps them in your chest. Freedom clears the room. Bitterness waits for revenge. Freedom builds a new morning, a new body, a new routine, a new standard, a new version of you, who does not beg to be valued. This is where you take your energy all the way back, not halfway, not only until they miss you, all the way. You wake up and your first thought is your mission, not their absence. You train because your body deserves strength. You work because your future needs structure. You keep your home clean because your environment reflects your mind. You spend time with people who respect your presence without needing to lose it first. And if they return, you meet that moment from strength, not hunger. You do not collapse because they finally noticed. You do not hand back access because loneliness got loud. You look for changed behavior, humility, consistency, and respect. If those things are not there, you keep walking. If they are there, you still choose slowly because your peace is no longer cheap. That is the man they never expected you to become. They expected silence to be a tactic. They expected you to fold. They expected your desire, your history, and your old softness to pull you back. But now silence has done something deeper. It has removed the weaker version of you from the room. So choose freedom, not waiting, not hoping, not obsessing. Freedom. Let them face whatever your absence awakened in them. Let them carry their regret, their pride, their lesson, or their silence. You carry your future. You are not here to be remembered by someone who rejected your value. You are here to become a man who never forgets his own. This is your release. This is your strength. This is where you stop waiting and start living. And from that place, my friend, no rejection can own your mind, your future, or your peace again. Folks, now you understand what your silence really does after rejection. It is not about revenge. It is not about games. It is about removing your energy from someone who stopped valuing it and letting the truth reveal itself. Through silence, you see who regrets, who pretends, who replaces, who grows, and who was never worth your peace in the first place. This lesson was about reclaiming yourself. Your silence protects your dignity, your absence creates clarity, and your freedom begins when you stop waiting for them to realize your worth and start living like a man who already knows it. If you want deeper lessons on Stoicism, masculine silence, emotional control, and rebuilding your self-respect after rejection, join the channel membership. That is where we go further and build the mindset most men never develop. And if this video gave you strength, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you do not miss tomorrow's lesson. Silence is powerful, but only when it is real. The moment she knows your silence is just a tactic, it loses all its weight. Listen, folks, a lot of men think going quiet is the ultimate move. They stop texting, stop calling, stop showing up and believe she is sitting there losing her mind. But deep down they are still waiting for her name to light up the phone, waiting for her to miss the attention, waiting for proof that she finally feels what she lost. And that is the problem, my friend. If she can feel that you are still attached, your silence does not scare her. It comforts her. She knows you are not really gone. You are just standing at the door hoping she turns around. The ruthless Stoic move is not pretending to disappear. It is leaving the game completely. No checking, no breadcrumbs, no emotional scoreboard, no silent performance designed to make her chase. You stop using silence as a weapon and start using it as a door that closes behind you. In this video, you will learn why they feel comfortable with fake silence, how breadcrumbs keep you hooked, why some returns are about control, and how walking away for yourself makes you untouchable. This lesson will show you the difference between being missed and being free, and that difference changes everything. Stay with me, because once you understand this, you will never confuse waiting with power again. Let's get into it. Number 1. They feel too comfortable. Let's be honest, folks. Fake silence does not make her wonder, it makes her wait. And when a woman already knows you are still emotionally standing there hoping she notices your silence has no teeth, it becomes predictable. It becomes another part of the same old cycle. That is why they feel too comfortable. They have seen the pattern. You get hurt. You pull back. You stop texting for a few days. You tell yourself, this time is different. But inside you are still checking your phone, still watching her stories, still wondering if she misses your attention, your desire, your masculine warmth. And somehow she feels that. Maybe not logically, but emotionally. She knows you are not gone. You are just quiet. Think about Gary, 54, a business owner in Scottsdale. He had been seeing Melissa, 48, a woman with sharp style, soft eyes, and the kind of slow feminine charm that made him feel chosen whenever she leaned close. Melissa enjoyed Gary's attention. He took her to dinner, listened to her problems, sent thoughtful messages, and made himself available whenever she needed a little masculine reassurance. But Melissa also took him for granted. She would go cold, then warm again. She would cancel plans, then send a sweet little text 2 days later. Gary finally got tired and decided to go silent. No calls, no messages, no reaction to her posts. At first he felt powerful. He thought, now she will feel what it is like without me. But here is the problem. Gary was not really gone. He was counting the hours. He checked whether she viewed his story. He asked a mutual friend if she had mentioned him. He kept his silence on the outside while feeding attachment on the inside. Melissa sensed it. She did not panic. She did not chase. She waited. Because in her mind, Gary always came back. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but eventually, all she had to do was drop one soft breadcrumb, maybe a casual hope, you are doing well, and Gary would feel that old pull again. That is comfort. That is why fake silence fails. A woman cannot feel the weight of your absence if she still feels your attachment. She cannot respect your distance if she knows it is just a pause before another attempt. And my friend, nothing lowers your power faster than pretending to leave while your whole nervous system is waiting to be invited back. The ruthless Stoic move begins when you see the truth. If your silence is designed to make her react, she still controls the mission. If your distance depends on whether she misses you, she still owns the frame. Real silence is not a stage performance. It is the beginning of detachment. So stop being predictable. Stop repeating the same cycle where you disappear just long enough to hope she gets nervous, then return the moment she offers a little warmth. That teaches her your self-respect has a timer. That teaches her comfort, not fear of loss. It tells her, you can be delayed but not lost. And a man who cannot be lost will rarely be valued with urgency, desire, or real respect. Gary only became powerful when he stopped watching for Melissa's reaction. He muted her, stopped asking about her, returned to his business, his gym, his friends, and his own standards. His silence stopped being a message to her and became a decision for himself. That is when the energy changed. So ask yourself, are you silent or are you just waiting quietly? If you are ready to stop being predictable, write this in the comments. I stop waiting. Stay with me, because the next part shows how the illusion of control keeps men trapped while they think they are winning. Number 2. Break the control illusion. Let's get something straight, folks. You do not gain control because you stop texting. You gain control when your mind is no longer waiting for their reaction. That is the difference most men never understand. A man can go silent for a week and still be completely owned. He can block her number and still replay every conversation. He can stop calling and still wake up, hoping she finally feels his absence. On the outside, he looks disciplined. On the inside, he is sitting in a cage with the door wide open, waiting for the person who hurt him to come back and set him free. That is not control. That is captivity with better posture. The illusion of control feels powerful at first. You tell yourself, I am not reaching out. I am not chasing. I am making her wonder. But then you check your phone. You count the days. You study whether she viewed your story. You wonder if she is thinking about your touch, your attention, your presence, your masculine energy. And the moment your peace depends on what she does next, you are not leading yourself anymore. Marcus Aurelius said, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Her regret is an outside event. Her message is an outside event. Her curiosity, her silence, her pride, all outside events. If your whole strategy is built around controlling those things, then you are not practicing Stoicism. You are practicing emotional gambling. And emotional gambling will drain you. You keep placing bets with your silence. Maybe today she will miss me. Maybe tomorrow she will crack. Maybe this weekend she will realize no man gave her what I gave. But my friend, every maybe keeps you tied to her. Every maybe delays your freedom. Every maybe tells your nervous system that your life is still waiting on a woman who did not value you properly when she had access. Break the illusion. Real control is not making her feel something. Real control is no longer needing her to feel anything. It is not winning the waiting game. It is walking out of the game. It is deciding that your dignity is not a tool for provoking regret. Your silence is not bait. Your absence is not a performance. Your life is not a stage where she gets to decide whether you did enough to be missed. Epictetus taught that freedom comes from understanding what is yours and what is not yours. What is yours? Your attention, your discipline, your standards, your daily actions, your refusal to pick up the phone when loneliness starts lying to you. What is not yours? Her timing, her ego, her reaction, her return. Stay with what is yours. This is where the ruthless Stoic move begins. You stop counting, you stop checking, you stop asking mutual friends. You stop building fantasies around a message that may never come. You stop confusing silence with power when your thoughts are still chained to her name. Instead, you return to the only kingdom a man truly owns himself. You train, you work, you clean your space, you rebuild your confidence, you become present with your own life again, not because you want her to notice your rise, but because you are done making your growth a reaction to her absence. That is control. When she no longer controls your mood, your habits, your self-respect, or your direction, then your silence becomes real, not because she feels it, because you do. If you are ready to break the illusion and take your mind back, write this in the comments. I release myself. Let's keep going, because the next part shows how breadcrumbs keep men hooked long after they think they have walked away. Number 3. Refuse their breadcrumbs. Let's be blunt, folks. Breadcrumbs are not love. A like on your photo is not regret. A random view on your story is not accountability. A soft little "hey stranger" after weeks of silence is not proof she finally understands your value. It is a crumb. And a starving man can mistake a crumb for a meal when he has been hungry for too long. That is how they keep you hooked. They do not come back with clarity. They do not say, I treated you poorly, I see it now, and I want to make it right. No. They give you just enough attention to wake up the old hope. A tiny signal, a casual message, a vague question. Something small enough that they do not have to be responsible, but strong enough to make you start thinking again. Think about Dennis, 58, a contractor in Tampa. He had been involved with Valerie, 51, a woman with beauty, confidence, and that slow, sensual charm that made him forget how little she actually gave back. Valerie enjoyed his attention, but she never offered consistency. She would disappear for days, then return with one warm message, and Dennis would light up like nothing had happened. After finally getting tired of being treated like an option, Dennis pulled away. He stopped calling. He stopped sending good morning texts. He stopped reacting to her posts. For 2 weeks he felt stronger. His mind cleared. His sleep improved. He started spending evenings at the gym instead of staring at his phone. Then the breadcrumb came. Valerie liked an old photo of him from a fishing trip. Nothing else. No message. No apology. Just a like. Dennis stared at it and felt his chest move. Maybe she misses me. Maybe she is thinking about me. Maybe this is her way of reaching out. That one tiny signal almost pulled him back into the whole cycle. That is the danger, my friend. Breadcrumbs are designed to make you move without them having to move first. They want to see if you are still emotionally available. They want to know if the door still opens. They want the comfort of your attention without the cost of earning it. Refusing breadcrumbs means you stop rewarding weak signals with strong energy. If she likes a photo, you do not build a fantasy. If she sends a vague text, you do not answer like a man who has been waiting by the door. If she says, "Hope you are well," you do not hear, "I want you back." You hear exactly what it is: low effort. A Stoic man does not chase meaning into crumbs. He observes behavior. He watches for substance. Real interest has direction. Real regret has humility. Real desire has effort. If all she offers is a little spark to see if you still burn for her, let it die in the air. Dennis finally understood this. He did not message Valerie after the photo like. He did not ask what it meant. He did not give her the satisfaction of knowing one crumb could still control his mind. He let it sit there, unanswered, then returned to his life. That was the moment he became less predictable. And folks, that is the move. Stop picking up crumbs from someone who once had access to the whole table. You were not built to survive on scraps of attention. You were built to stand in full value, full discipline, full self-respect. Your attention becomes powerful only when you stop spending it on signals that never come with real respect or action again. If you are ready to refuse weak attention, write this in the comments. I refuse breadcrumbs. Stay with me, because the next part shows the only kind of silence that actually works, and why fake silence always fails. Number 4. Make silence real. Here is where the lesson gets serious, folks. Silence only works when it stops being a tactic and becomes a truth. If you are silent because you want her to miss you, you are still reaching. If you are silent because you want her to panic, you are still controlled. If you are silent while checking your phone every hour, replaying old conversations, and hoping she finally feels your absence, you are not detached. You are just unheard. Real silence is different. Real silence does not stand at the door waiting to be chased. It closes the door and returns to life. It does not whisper, "Please notice me." It says, "I am done placing my peace in the hands of someone who did not value it." That is why fake silence fails. She can feel when your absence is still attached to her reaction. She knows when you are quiet, but not gone. She senses when your silence is still a performance, still a hook, still another way of asking her to choose you. And once she knows that your silence loses weight. Marcus Aurelius said, "The more we value things outside our control, the less control we have." Her reaction is outside your control. Her regret is outside your control. Her desire, her message, her curiosity, all outside your control. If your silence depends on those things, then your silence is not power. It is dependence wearing a mask. So make silence real by removing the audience. You are not doing this for her. You are not doing this to make her jealous. You are not doing this so she checks your profile at midnight and wonders where your masculine attention went. You are doing this because your dignity needs a clean line. You are doing this because your nervous system deserves rest. You are doing this because a man cannot build his future while standing emotionally outside a closed door. Epictetus taught that freedom begins when we know what belongs to us and what does not. Your attention belongs to you. Your discipline belongs to you. Your standards belong to you. Her response does not. So stop giving your power to what was never yours to command. And folks, if you want deeper members-only lessons on Stoic silence, masculine detachment, and how to stop waiting for someone who does not value you, join the channel membership. Inside, we go further into real situations, clean responses, and the inner discipline a man needs when desire tries to drag him backward. Making silence real means you stop checking. You stop asking mutual friends. You stop reading into posts. You stop building stories from crumbs. You stop using absence as bait and start using it as a boundary. Then something powerful happens. Whether she notices or not becomes less important. Whether she returns or not stops controlling your mood. Your silence becomes calm. Your body relaxes. Your energy comes home. And that is when you finally understand the ruthless Stoic move. It was never about making her feel your absence. It was about making yourself free. If you are ready to stop performing silence and start living it, write this in the comments. I live silence. Do not go anywhere, because the next part shows why by the time they finally notice, you should already be gone. Number 5. Leave before they notice. Let's be clear, folks. If you are waiting for her to finally notice your absence before you leave emotionally, then you have not left. You are still standing there in the shadows, hoping she turns around. And that is exactly why your silence does not hit the way you want it to. The ruthless move is this: you leave before they notice. Not physically only, emotionally, mentally, spiritually. You stop measuring your progress by whether she feels the loss. You stop checking for signs. You stop wondering if the silence is working. You stop making her regret the reward you are secretly waiting for. Because, my friend, the moment they finally notice should not be the moment you get excited. It should be the moment you are already too far gone to care. Think about Robert, 56, a restaurant consultant in Nashville. He had been seeing Celeste, 49, a woman with confidence, beauty, and the kind of slow, feminine charm that made a man feel like he had won something rare. At first, Celeste gave him warmth, long dinners, deep eye contact, playful messages late at night. She knew how to make him feel desired. Then she started pulling back. Short replies, cancelled plans, less affection, more excuses. Robert tried to stay calm, but inside he was waiting for the old version of her to return. Eventually, he went silent. But at first his silence was not real. He checked her profile. He watched for her name. He wondered if she missed his attention, his masculine presence, his steady care. Then one day, Robert understood something brutal. He was not free. He was just quiet. So he made a different decision. He did not just stop texting Celeste. He stopped building his day around the possibility of her return. He booked clients. He started lifting again. He spent Sunday mornings with his brother. He cleaned up his house. He went back to reading before bed instead of scrolling through memories. He stopped asking, "Does she notice I am gone?" and started asking, "Do I respect the man I am becoming?" That is when he actually left. Months later, Celeste finally reached out. A soft message, nothing dramatic, just enough warmth to test the door. The old Robert would have felt his chest light up. He would have answered fast, acted calm, and secretly celebrated that his silence had worked. But this Robert was different. He read the message, felt almost nothing, and put the phone down. Not out of anger, not out of bitterness, out of freedom. By the time she noticed, he had already rebuilt a life where her attention was no longer the prize. That is the power, folks. People often realize what they lost too late. But the point is not to stand there waiting to watch the realization hit them. That still makes your life about their reaction. The point is to become so engaged in your own growth that their realization becomes background noise. Leave before they notice. Leave before the apology. Leave before the regret. Leave before the late-night message. Leave before the soft return. Leave before your ego starts begging for proof that you mattered. You already mattered. You do not need her delayed recognition to confirm it. A man with self-respect does not wait to be missed. He walks into his future with both hands free. If she notices, fine. If she does not, fine. Either way, he is gone from the old dynamic. If you are ready to stop waiting to be noticed, write this in the comments. I am gone. Stay with me, because the next part shows why some people return, not for love, but to regain the control they lost. Number 6. Reject their control return. Now listen carefully, folks, Because this is the moment where many men lose after they already escaped. You finally stop waiting. You finally stop checking. You finally build enough distance that her name no longer controls your pulse. Then suddenly she returns. A message, a missed call, a soft little, "Hey, how have you been?" Maybe she says she was thinking about you. Maybe she says she hopes there are no hard feelings. Maybe she acts casual, like nothing ever happened, like she did not know exactly how much access she used to have to your attention, your patience, your desire, and your masculine energy. Do not get drunk on that moment. Sometimes people return because they miss you. But sometimes, my friend, they return because they miss control. They miss knowing they could press a button and get a reaction. They miss the old version of you who answered fast, explained too much, forgave too easily, and kept the door cracked open even after being disrespected. This is why you must reject the control return. Marcus Aurelius said, "The more we value things outside our control, the less control we have." Her return is outside your control. Her mood is outside your control. Her sudden curiosity is outside your control. But your response belongs to you. That is where your power lives. The danger is not that she reaches out. The danger is that you mistake contact for change. A woman can miss your attention without respecting your heart. She can miss your presence without being ready to honor your standards. She can miss the way you made her feel desired without being willing to treat you with consistency. A soft return is not accountability. Accountability sounds different. It has clarity. It has ownership. It does not test the water with vague sweetness. It does not ask for access without admitting what happened. It does not pull you back into emotional fog. If she returns with real maturity, you will hear responsibility in her words and see discipline in her actions over time. Until then, stay steady. Epictetus taught that freedom comes from understanding what is yours and what is not yours. Your peace is yours. Your attention is yours. Your standards are yours. Do not hand them back because she sent one message that touched the lonely part of you. Do not confuse the return of her voice with the return of respect. Many men fall because they want the comeback to mean something. They want to believe the silence worked. They want to believe the woman who once dismissed them finally sees the man she almost lost. And maybe she does. But you do not rebuild access on maybe. You rebuild access, if at all, on changed behavior. So when she returns, slow everything down. Do not answer from hunger. Do not perform coolness while secretly shaking inside. Do not use the moment to punish her either. Just observe. Ask yourself, is this love, accountability, or control trying to reopen the old door? A Stoic man is not rude. He is not bitter. He simply refuses to be managed by hope. He can respond calmly or not respond at all. But either way, he does not surrender the life he rebuilt just because the past knocked once. Reject the control return. Protect the man you became in the silence. Protect your sleep, your focus, your body, your future, and the calm authority you earned alone. If she wants access, let her meet the standard. If she cannot, let the door stay closed. If you are ready to stop being controlled by old access, write this in the comments. I stay uncontrolled. Let's keep going because the next part shows why walking away for yourself is the move that finally makes you free. Number 7. Walk away for yourself. Let's be honest, folks. Walking away only becomes powerful when you stop doing it for her reaction. If you walk away hoping she chases, you are still facing her. If you walk away hoping she regrets, you are still tied to her. If you walk away just to make her feel what she lost, then, my friend, you have not truly left. You have only changed the direction of your begging. The ruthless Stoic move is walking away for yourself. Not to be missed, not to be desired again, not to make her feel empty at night. You walk away because your peace has become more important than her approval. You walk away because no woman's attention is worth the slow death of your dignity. You walk away because a man cannot keep knocking on a door that only opens when someone wants to use his warmth. Think about Frank, 58, a dealership owner in Atlanta. He had been involved with Monica, 50, a woman who carried herself with elegance, confidence, and a soft, sensual presence that pulled him in fast. When Monica wanted attention, she knew exactly how to get it. A late-night message, a warm smile, a touch on his arm, just enough to remind Frank what he wanted. But when Frank wanted consistency, Monica became hard to reach. She cancelled plans. She gave vague answers. She acted interested when he pulled back, then distant when he stepped forward. Frank tried silence before, but it was never real. He would go quiet for a few days, then check her profile, wonder who she was with, and wait for her to notice. His silence was not freedom. It was hope wearing a mask. One evening, after Monica sent another casual message like nothing had happened, Frank felt the old pull. His ego wanted to answer. His body remembered the chemistry. His mind started building excuses. Maybe she is coming around. Maybe this is the moment. But something in him finally got tired. He did not respond right away. He sat with the urge. Then he realized the truth. He was not walking away because Monica needed to learn a lesson. He was walking away because he did. He needed to learn that his time was not cheap. His attention was not unlimited. His desire did not give anyone permission to treat him casually. So Frank walked away for himself. No announcement, no dramatic message, no final speech about everything he had done. He simply stopped participating in a dynamic that made him feel smaller. He kept his mornings clean. He trained before work. He took his daughter to dinner. He reconnected with old friends. He started making decisions from self-respect instead of emotional hunger. That is when walking away becomes real. A lot of men never reach this level because they are addicted to being wanted. They would rather be pulled back into confusion than sit alone with their own growth. They say they want peace, but they keep choosing the woman who disturbs it because her attention feels like a drug. That is not love. That is dependency. A Stoic man understands that power is not in being desired. Power is in not needing desire to stay whole. He can want a woman and still leave. He can feel attraction and still choose peace. He can remember the heat, the chemistry, the way she made him feel alive, and still decide that self-respect matters more. So walk away for yourself. Close the door without slamming it. Leave without performing. Do not hover near the exit hoping she calls your name. Do not look back to measure whether your absence is hurting her. That is still her world. You are building yours now. If you are ready to choose yourself over the old game, write this in the comments. I choose myself. Stay with me, because the next part shows how burning the bridge clean keeps you from looking back and losing the freedom you just earned. Number 8. Burn the bridge clean. Listen carefully, folks, because cutting contact is not the same as being free. A man can block her number and still visit her memory every night. He can unfollow her and still type her name into the search bar. He can delete photos and still keep one hidden folder in his mind where hope lives. That is not burning the bridge. That is standing in the smoke pretending you left. Burning the bridge clean means there is no secret path back to the old weakness. This does not mean hatred. It does not mean drama. It does not mean you announce your exit like a wounded man begging for applause. It means you remove the hidden access points that keep your attachment alive. No checking her stories. No asking mutual friends. No driving past places you know she might be. No rereading old messages like they are sacred scripture. No keeping emotional souvenirs that pull you back into the same pain. Marcus Aurelius said, "Do not let the future disturb you, for you will meet it with the same reason that arms you today." That is the mindset here, my friend. You do not keep a bridge open because you fear the future without her. You meet that future with reason, discipline, and self-respect. You stop telling yourself that looking back is harmless. It is not harmless if it keeps reopening the wound. Most men think the bridge is the relationship. Wrong. The bridge is every habit that still connects your nervous system to her reaction. The bridge is the late-night checking. The bridge is the fantasy that she will return changed. The bridge is the little excuse that says, "I just want to know how she is doing." No, brother. You want relief. You want proof. You want one more sign that the past still has a pulse, and that is exactly why the bridge must burn clean. Epictetus taught that freedom is not achieved by satisfying desire, but by eliminating it. Apply that to the old connection. You do not become free by finally getting the message you wanted. You become free when you no longer need it. You do not become strong because she regrets losing you. You become strong when her regret is no longer required for your peace. So remove the ashes too. Not just the obvious contact, but the emotional leftovers. Stop rehearsing what you would say if she came back. Stop imagining the perfect conversation where she admits she was wrong. Stop keeping a version of yourself frozen at the doorway ready to respond if she knocks. That man cannot build a future because one part of him still guards the past. A clean bridge burn is quiet. It is internal. It is waking up and choosing not to feed the memory. It is feeling the urge to check and letting the urge pass. It is turning your attention back to your body, your work, your home, your friendships, your purpose. Every time you refuse to look back, you teach yourself that the old access is dead. That is not cruel. That is clean. If she ever comes looking, let her meet a closed road, not a man hiding behind the trees, hoping to be found. Your life should not have a secret entrance for someone who taught you why the exit was necessary. A man who burns the bridge clean does not hate the woman behind him. He simply honors the man ahead of him. He chooses peace over curiosity, discipline over nostalgia, and freedom over one more taste of familiar pain. If you are ready to stop looking back, write this in the comments. I never look back. Stay with me because the next part shows how rising beyond her reach makes your old attachment irrelevant. Number 9. Rise beyond their reach. Let's be honest, folks. The version of you they expect is the version that stays wounded. They expect you to stay stuck. They expect you to keep checking, keep wondering, keep measuring your life against the memory of how they treated you. They can handle your silence. They can handle your anger. They can even handle you blocking them because anger still keeps them important. What they cannot handle is your rise. Rising beyond their reach means you become so engaged in your own life that their approval, regret, and attention stop carrying weight. You do not become better to punish them. You do not rebuild so they can see what they lost. You rebuild because you finally realize they were never the foundation. They were a mirror showing you where you had abandoned yourself. Think about Samuel, 55, an electrician in Portland. He had spent almost a year chasing emotional certainty from Diane, 49, a woman with elegance, sharp humor, and a sensual confidence that made Samuel feel young again. Diane liked his strength when she needed help. She liked his calm when her world was messy. She liked knowing he wanted her, but she never truly honored him. When Samuel pulled back before Diane knew he would return, one soft text, one warm smile, one little reminder of their chemistry, and he was back in the same orbit. But after the final disappointment, Samuel did something different. He did not just go silent, he rose. He stopped watching Diane's life and started rebuilding his own. He took on better jobs. He trained in the mornings before work. He cleaned up his diet without becoming obsessed. He replaced late night scrolling with sleep. He reconnected with his brother. He started learning a new trade skill that could expand his business. Slowly, his life got louder than her memory. 6 months later, Samuel ran into Diane at a local restaurant. She looked surprised. Not because he was rude, not because he ignored her with bitterness, because he was different. He carried himself like a man who had moved beyond the old hunger. His shoulders were broader, his eyes were calmer, his voice did not reach for approval. He greeted her with respect, wished her well, and returned to his table. That moment said everything. Diane could feel it. This was not the man waiting to be chosen. This was not the man silently hoping she would notice. This was a man who had outgrown the emotional room she once kept him in. And once a man rises beyond reach, the old access no longer works. That is the real Stoic move, my friend. You stop making pain your identity and start making discipline your answer. You turn rejection into structure. You turn disappointment into training. You turn silence into focus. You turn the woman who once distracted you into proof that you can survive desire without becoming its servant. And here is the part most men miss. They do not fear your silence as much as they fear your indifference. They do not fear your absence as much as they fear your evolution. When you rise, you become untouchable to the old games. A breadcrumb no longer moves you. A memory no longer owns you. A soft return no longer intoxicates you. So rise beyond their reach. Build a life they cannot enter with one message. Build a body-mind schedule and purpose that protect you from your old weakness. Let them see, if life allows it, that you did not break. You became unreachable. If you are ready to rise beyond the old attachment, write this in the comments. I am unstoppable. Stay close, because the final part shows how becoming untouchable forever closes the door on the past for good. Number 10. Become untouchable forever. Here is the final truth, folks. Untouchable does not mean heartless. It does not mean bitter cold or closed to love. It means the old game can no longer reach the part of you that used to react. The breadcrumb does not move you. The soft return does not intoxicate you. The memory does not pull you back into a room you already survived. That is what forever means. Not that you will never feel again. You will. A strong man still feels desire, loneliness, nostalgia, and attraction. But he does not let those feelings drag him backward. He respects them, studies them, and keeps walking. He understands that emotions are visitors, not commanders. Most men become touchable again because they leave one small door open, one profile they still check, one message thread they refuse to delete. One fantasy where she finally admits she lost a man she could never replace. One quiet hope that someday she sees him with new eyes. That little door is enough. Through it the past slips back in. Close it. Becoming untouchable forever means you stop building your identity around what they did to you. You are not the man she rejected. You are not the man she underestimated. You are not the man waiting to be missed. You are the man who used the pain as a doorway into discipline. You are the man who turned silence into freedom and freedom into direction. This is the part where you stop needing the story to end with her regret. Maybe she regrets it. Maybe she never does. Maybe she watches from a distance. Maybe she forgets your name. Either way, your life cannot depend on her awakening. A man who needs her regret is still chained to her judgment. Untouchable means your approval comes from your own alignment. Did you keep your word today? Did you train your body? Did you guard your peace? Did you show up for your purpose? Did you choose dignity when old desire tested you? Those questions matter more than whether she looked back. A Stoic man builds an inner fortress, not to hide from the world, but to stop the wrong people from ruling his world. Inside that fortress are his standards, his habits, his clarity, his health, his friendships, his faith, his work, and his future. If someone wants access, they meet the gate with respect. If they bring confusion, manipulation, or crumbs, they stay outside. That is not cruelty. That is order. And order is what makes a man dangerous to his old weakness. He no longer answers every emotional knock. He no longer confuses chemistry with compatibility. He no longer mistakes being wanted for being valued. He can enjoy attention without becoming addicted to it. He can receive desire without surrendering his center. This is how you become untouchable forever. You create a life so grounded that returning to chaos feels beneath you. You become too busy building, healing, laughing, learning, and leading yourself to keep watching the door. You stop asking whether they miss you and start asking whether your future respects you. That question changes everything. So do not make this another temporary phase. Do not be strong for 3 weeks, then crawl back because the night got lonely. Do not call it healing while secretly waiting. Make the decision final inside yourself. Let the old access die. Let the old version of you rest. Let the man who needed to be chosen become the man who chooses peace. Forever begins when you stop negotiating with what already broke you. From this point on, be calm. Be disciplined, be selective, be alive. Love again when it is worthy, desire again when it is healthy, but never again hand control of your mind to someone who only valued you when you were almost gone. Folks, now you understand the real ruthless Stoic move. It is not fake silence. It is not waiting to be missed. It is not checking, hoping, and pretending you have moved on while your mind is still trapped in the past. Real power begins when your silence becomes truth. You stop picking up breadcrumbs. You stop returning for control disguised as affection. You walk away for yourself, burn the bridge, clean rise beyond their reach, and become too grounded for the old game to touch you again. If you want deeper lessons on Stoicism, masculine detachment, emotional control, and becoming untouchable after rejection, join the channel membership. That is where we go further and build the mindset most men never develop. And if this video gave you strength, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you do not miss tomorrow's lesson. The moment you stop chasing, you start becoming the man she cannot ignore. That sounds simple, folks, but most men never live it. They grip tighter when they feel a woman pulling away. They text more. They explain more. They try to prove their worth with patience, attention, compliments, and constant availability. But the harder they hold on, the faster her desire slips through their fingers. Maybe you have felt that, my friend. You gave her your time, your masculine energy, your loyalty, maybe even that quiet desire that made her feel wanted. But instead of respecting it, she got comfortable. She knew you would call. She knew you would check in. She knew you would be there, even when she gave you less. Detachment changes that. Not coldness, not games, not pretending you do not care while secretly waiting for her name to light up your phone. Real Stoic detachment means you loosen your grip, take back your attention, and return to your own center. You stop proving. You stop chasing. You let your absence speak while your life keeps moving. And that is when her mind starts shifting. At first she may act indifferent. Then she notices the silence. Then she feels the fear of losing your attention. Then the emotional storm begins. In this video, you will learn what happens when you detach, why it creates attraction, and how to stay powerful when she tests your frame without losing yourself in the process. Let's get into it. Number 1. Detachment creates real power. Let's be real, folks. The man who chases is never the man who leads. The moment you run after a woman's attention, explain your worth, prove your loyalty, and beg her to feel what she should already respect you. Hand her the power to decide your value. Detachment takes that power back. Not because you become cold, not because you stop caring, not because you pretend her beauty, her softness, her touch, or the chemistry between you never meant anything. Real detachment means you can want her without needing her. You can feel desire without losing discipline. You can care without abandoning your center. That is real power. Think about Richard, 53, a contractor in Phoenix. He had been seeing Lauren, 47, a divorced real estate agent with confident style and the kind of feminine energy that made men turn their heads. Richard liked her immediately. She laughed at his dry humor, leaned close when they talked, and made him feel alive again. So he leaned in too hard. He texted first every morning. He adjusted his schedule around hers. He sent thoughtful messages, planned dinners, checked in when she was stressed, and gave her steady masculine attention. At first Lauren enjoyed it, but slowly her energy changed. Her replies got shorter. Her warmth became inconsistent. She still liked knowing Richard was there, but she stopped valuing the effort. Richard felt it, and like most men, he almost chased harder. He wanted to ask what changed. He wanted to prove he was different. He wanted to remind her of the connection and the nights when her eyes told him she felt something real. But one evening, after she cancelled another plan with a casual excuse, he stopped himself. He did not argue. He did not send a long message. He simply stepped back. That was detachment. He did not disappear to punish her. He did not start posting for attention. He did not try to make her jealous. He returned to his own life, work, training, time with his grown son. Sunday coffee with his brother. The old guitar he had not played in years. He stopped feeding a dynamic where his attention was unlimited and her effort was optional. And folks, that is when his energy changed. Lauren noticed it gradually. Richard no longer replied like a man waiting by the phone. He was still respectful but not hungry, still warm but not chasing, still masculine but no longer emotionally available on demand. That space made her feel what his constant presence had made easy to ignore. This is the paradox of attraction. When you grip too tightly, you create pressure. When you loosen your grip, you create room. A woman can feel when a man is centered in himself. She can feel when his attention is chosen, not desperate. She can feel when his desire has discipline behind it. Detachment is not weakness, my friend. Detachment is the quiet confidence that says, I know my worth, whether you recognize it today or not. It says, I will not become smaller to stay close to someone who keeps pulling away. It says my presence is a gift, not a subscription you can keep without respect. And do not miss this. Detachment is not about making her chase. That may happen, but it is not the goal. The goal is freedom. The goal is becoming a man who stops measuring his value by how quickly she replies, how warmly she responds, or how much attention she gives. When Richard detached, he changed his own perception. He remembered that he was the prize because he had standards and self-command. If you are ready to stop chasing and stand in your power, write this in the comments. I choose power. Stay with me because the next part shows why her first reaction may look cold, even when your absence starts to work. Number 2. Expect her initial indifference. Now listen carefully, folks, because this stage is where most men panic and throw away their power. You detach, you stop chasing, you pull your attention back, and then you expect her to feel it immediately. You expect a message, you expect a reaction, you expect some sign that your absence has started working, but often the first thing you see is indifference. She may act calm, she may seem relieved, she may post like nothing changed. She may laugh with friends, answer everyone except you, and move through her day as if your silence is just background noise. And if your frame is weak, that will hit you hard. You will start thinking maybe she never cared. Maybe I waited too long. Maybe I should say something before she forgets me. Do not do it. Initial indifference is not the final truth. Many times it is only the first layer. When someone has grown used to your attention, they do not always feel the loss on day one. At first they may feel space. They may feel control. They may even tell themselves, good, I needed room. That does not mean your absence has no weight. It means the weight has not fully landed yet. Think of quitting sugar. The first day you may feel strong. You say yours. Your silence is yours. Your decision not to collapse because she looks unbothered is yours. That is where your power lives. A Stoic man does not need instant proof. He does not detach for 24 hours, see no reaction, and run back like a man afraid of being erased. He understands that real detachment is not a performance. It is not a test where she must respond by a certain time. It is a return to self-respect, whether she notices today, next week, or never. And this is important, my friend. If she truly values your presence, indifference will not hold forever. The silence will begin to create questions. Why has he stopped reaching? Why does his energy feel different? Why am I not getting the attention I used to receive? But if she never valued you, the silence will reveal that too. Either answer gives you clarity. So when she appears indifferent, do not chase. Do not explain. Do not post to be seen. Do not send a casual message pretending you are just checking in. That is fear dressed as confidence. Stay still. Let the space mature. Let her experience life without your constant masculine attention filling the room. This is the moment to rebuild your own rhythm. Go train, handle your work, eat well, clean your house, call a friend who respects you. Put your phone down and let your nervous system learn that her silence is not an emergency. The first victory is not her reaction. The first victory is your refusal to react. Your job is not to make her feel the loss. Your job is to stop losing yourself trying to make her feel anything. If you are ready to hold steady through the first silence, write this in the comments. I hold silence. Let's keep going because the next part shows when the fear of losing your attention starts entering her mind and changing the entire dynamic. Number 3. Let her fear losing attention. Let's be clear, folks. People do not fear losing what is always guaranteed. They fear losing what suddenly feels uncertain. And when a woman has grown used to your attention, your warmth, your desire, and your steady masculine presence, she may not respect it at first. She may treat it like background music. But when that music stops, the room starts feeling different. That is when fear begins. Not fear in a cruel way. Not fear because you are threatening her. We are talking about the quiet fear of realizing she may no longer have access to the man who kept showing up, kept caring, kept giving, and kept making her feel wanted. That kind of fear does not come from your words. It comes from your absence. Think about Thomas, 56, a financial advisor in Tampa. He had been seeing Erica, 48, a woman with elegance, sharp wit, and that calm feminine confidence that made him feel drawn in every time she walked into a room. Thomas gave her real attention, not cheap attention, focused attention. He listened, he planned, he remembered small details. He made her feel desired, without being vulgar, protected, without being controlling, and seen without having to perform. At first Erica enjoyed it, then she got comfortable. She took longer to reply. She cancelled dinner once, then twice. She still expected Thomas to check in after work, still expected him to compliment her, still expected him to keep that masculine warmth flowing toward her. She was not evil. She had simply grown used to receiving, without wondering what it would feel like if it stopped. Then Thomas detached. No angry speech, no emotional lecture, no dramatic withdrawal. He simply stopped overgiving. He stopped sending the first message every morning. He stopped rewarding cold replies with more effort. He stopped making himself emotionally available when her energy was inconsistent. He returned to his own life and his attention became quiet. At first, Erica barely reacted. She told herself Thomas was busy, maybe tired, maybe in a mood. But after several days, the feeling shifted. She checked her phone and his name was not there. She posted a photo and he did not react. She had a stressful day and realized the man who usually made her feel steady was no longer reaching toward her. That is when the question entered her mind. Did I lose his attention? And my friend, that question changes the dynamic, because attention is powerful when it is controlled. If you give it away without standards, it becomes ordinary. If you protect it, it becomes valuable. A woman can feel when your attention is no longer automatic. She starts realizing that access to you is not a permanent service. It is something connected to respect, consistency, and mutual effort. This is not manipulation. This is self-respect. You are not trying to make her suffer. You are teaching yourself to stop feeding a connection where only one person is investing. If she values you, your detachment will make her reflect. If she does not, your detachment will free you. Thomas did not sit around waiting for Erica to panic. He trained, worked, spent time with his brother, and rebuilt his rhythm. That is why his detachment had weight. It was not a tactic, it was a life shift. Eventually, Erica sent a message asking if everything was okay. Thomas did not jump. He stayed calm, because the goal was not to make her fear losing him. The goal was to become a man who no longer feared losing her attention. That is real power. If you are ready to protect your attention, write this in the comments. I protect attention. Stay with me because the next part shows how to stay calm when her emotions, pride, and curiosity begin turning into a storm. Number 4. Stay calm through the storm. Now listen carefully, folks, because once your detachment starts working, the storm does not always begin in her world first. It begins in yours. You feel the silence. You feel the urge to check. You feel your pride asking whether she has noticed. Then if she starts reacting, liking something, posting something, acting colder, acting warmer, dropping a hint. Your emotions can start moving like a rough sea. This is where calm becomes your weapon. Not anger, not jealousy, not another message trying to explain your side. Calm. A man who can stay calm while emotions rise becomes hard to control. He does not jump every time she moves. He does not treat her silence like danger. He does not treat her curiosity like victory. He watches the storm without becoming the storm. Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." That line belongs right here, my friend. Her pride is an outside event. Her mixed signals are outside events. Her sudden warmth, her cold reply, her social media performance, her possible jealousy, all outside events. Your response is the only thing that belongs to you, and most men lose because they respond too fast. She posts something that looks like she is having fun, and he spirals. She watches his story and he gets excited. She sends one vague message, and he answers like a man rescued from drowning. She acts indifferent, and he breaks the silence just to prove he still has value. That is not detachment. That is emotional reflex. A Stoic man slows the reflex down. He breathes before acting. He lets the feeling rise and fall without obeying it. He understands that the mind can create storms that reality has not confirmed. Maybe she is testing you. Maybe she is not. Maybe she misses your attention. Maybe she is only curious. Maybe she is proud. Maybe she is confused. You do not need to solve every maybe. You need to stay centered. Seneca said we suffer more often in imagination than in reality. Remember that when your mind starts building stories from small signals, a like does not mean love. A cold post does not mean she moved on. A delayed reply does not mean you lost. A warm message does not mean she has changed. You observe behavior over time. You do not hand your power to one emotional moment. This is also where your body matters. When the storm rises, move, train, walk, breathe. Get away from the phone. Do something that returns you to yourself. A man cannot think clearly while staring at a screen waiting for a woman's next move to decide his mood. Your nervous system needs leadership too. And folks, if you want deeper members-only lessons on Stoic emotional control, masculine detachment, and how to hold your frame when desire and pride pull at you, join the channel membership. Inside we go further into real situations, clean responses, and the discipline that keeps a man steady when the storm tries to drag him back into weakness. Stay calm through the storm, because the storm is the test. If you react, you teach her you are still easy to move. If you stay grounded, you teach yourself that your peace is stronger than her uncertainty. That is how the dynamic changes. Not because you overpower her, because you finally master yourself. And when a man masters himself, even feminine beauty, tension and silence cannot drag him out of his own command. That is the kind of strength people feel before you say a word. If you are ready to stay steady when emotions rise, write this in the comments. I stay centered. Stay close, because the next part shows how her mindset begins to shift when your calm refuses to break. Number 5. Watch her mindset shift. Let's be real, folks. The first sign of detachment working is not always a confession. It is a shift in how she sees you, before she may have placed you in a familiar category. The man who texts first. The man who explains. The man who gives warmth after cold treatment. The man who stays emotionally available even when she gives half effort. Then suddenly that man is gone. Not angry, not dramatic, not begging for attention, just gone from the old pattern. And when a woman can no longer predict your reaction, her mind starts adjusting to a new reality. She begins to ask questions she never had to ask before. Is he still interested? Did he finally get tired? Is there another woman feeling the attention I used to receive? Did I misjudge how strong he really was? Think about Brian, 51, a physical therapist in San Diego. He had been seeing Heather, 46, a confident divorced woman with a sharp smile and a calm, sensual presence that made him feel pulled in. Brian liked her softness when she was close, but he also noticed her inconsistency. She would flirt hard one day, then go cold for 3. She enjoyed his desire, his steady check-ins, and the way he made her feel wanted, but she rarely matched his effort. For a while, Brian chased balance. He tried being more understanding. He sent thoughtful messages. He asked if everything was okay. He adjusted his schedule whenever Heather became available. And the more he tried to keep the connection alive, the more she treated him like an option she could return to whenever she felt like it. Then Brian detached. He did not announce it. He did not punish her. He simply stopped over-investing. When Heather went cold, he did not chase warmth. When she delayed replies, he did not send follow-ups. When she posted something clearly designed to draw attention, he did not react. He returned to his business, his workouts, his adult son, and the quiet life he had been neglecting. At first, Heather assumed it was temporary. Then the shift began. She noticed Brian was no longer orbiting her. His replies became calmer, shorter, more grounded. His availability changed. His attention was no longer automatic. For the first time, she had to wonder where she stood with him. That is the mindset shift. A woman who once felt secure in your pursuit starts feeling uncertain about your access. She may not admit it. She may act casual. But internally, the story changes. You are no longer the man waiting outside her emotional door. You become the man who might have walked away from it completely. And my friend, that uncertainty changes the energy. Not because you manipulated her, but because you stopped giving away what she had not earned. Your attention became valuable again. Your desire became controlled again. Your presence became something she could no longer assume would always be available. This is where you must stay steady. Do not celebrate too early. Do not see one curious message and run back. A mindset shift is not the same as real change. Let her show effort. Let her step forward. Let her reveal whether she wants connection or only wants the comfort of knowing you still care. Brian understood this. When Heather finally texted, "You have been quiet lately," he did not apologize. He did not explain. He simply said, "I have been focused on my life. Calm, clean, strong." That answer told her everything. He was not chasing anymore. If you are ready to let her feel the shift without losing your frame, write this in the comments. I attract calmly. Stay with me, because the next part shows why one small breadcrumb can drag a weak man straight back into the old cycle. Number 6. Do not bite breadcrumbs. Let's be blunt, folks. Breadcrumbs are one of the easiest ways to lose the power you just rebuilt. You detach, you stay calm, you stop chasing, you finally begin to feel your mind clearing. Then she drops one tiny signal, and suddenly the old hunger wakes up. A like on an old photo, a casual view on your story, a short message that says, "Hope you are doing well," a vague post that sounds like it might be about you. Nothing direct, nothing responsible, nothing clear, just enough to make you wonder. That is the danger. A breadcrumb is not effort, it is not accountability, it is not desire with substance behind it. It is a test. It checks whether you are still standing where she left you. It asks, can I still move him with almost nothing? Can I still get his attention without giving him real respect? Can I still make him think about me with one small signal? Most men fail right there. They see the breadcrumb and turn it into a full story. She liked my post, so she must miss me. She watched my story, so she must be thinking about me. She sent a short text, so maybe she finally understands what she lost. My friend, that is not discipline. That is emotional starvation, making crumbs look like a feast. Seneca said we suffer more often in imagination than in reality. That line belongs here, because one weak signal can make a man create an entire fantasy in his head. He imagines her regret. He imagines her lying awake. He imagines her wanting him back, but being too proud to say it. And before anything real has happened, he has already handed her his mind again. Do not bite. If she truly wants to reconnect, let her come with clarity. Let her speak with intention. Let her show effort that costs more than a few seconds of attention. A woman who seriously values your presence will not only throw a little bait into the water and wait for you to swim toward it. She will step forward. She will communicate. She will bring respect, consistency, and real action. Until then, stay still. This is where Stoicism protects you. Epictetus taught that freedom begins when you stop being ruled by things outside your control. Her little signals are outside your control. Her timing is outside your control. Her pride is outside your control. But your reaction belongs to you. Your attention belongs to you. Your frame belongs to you. Protect it. Do not reward vague energy with full access. Do not reply like a man who has been waiting by the phone. Do not turn one small message into an emotional reunion. If you respond at all, respond from calm strength, not hunger. Short, clear, measured. No over-explaining. No warmth that has not been earned. No emotional flood because she tapped lightly on the glass. And sometimes the strongest response is no response. That does not make you cruel. It makes you selective. You are not punishing her. You are refusing to feed a cycle where she gives almost nothing and receives your attention, hope, and masculine energy in return. Remember this, folks. Breadcrumbs keep weak men attached. Standards keep strong men free. If she wants access, she must bring more than curiosity, more than nostalgia, more than a soft little sign that says, "Are you still there?" You are not there anymore. You are here with yourself, standing in your value. If you are ready to stop chasing weak signals, write this in the comments. I refuse breadcrumbs. Stay tuned, because the next part shows how to stay unshaken when jealousy enters the picture and tries to pull you back into her game. Number 7. Stay unshaken by jealousy. Let's be honest, folks. Jealousy is one of the oldest traps in the game. The moment you detach, the moment you stop chasing, the moment your attention is no longer guaranteed, she may start testing whether she can still move you. And one of the easiest ways to test a man is to make him wonder who else has her attention. Do not take the bait. A woman who feels your attention slipping may not always come forward with honesty. That would require vulnerability. Instead, she may put on a little show, a night out with friends, a smiling photo with another man nearby, a vague caption about being happier now, a story posted at just the right time, nothing direct, nothing clear, just enough to make your mind start working against you. And my friend, if you react, she learns something. She learns your detachment was not solid. She learns another man's shadow can still pull you out of your frame. She learns she does not need to earn your attention through respect, effort, or accountability. She only needs to trigger your jealousy. Think about Leonard, 54, a gym owner in Chicago. He had been seeing Natalie, 47, a polished woman who knew how to create feminine tension without saying too much. Natalie liked Leonard's attention. She liked the way he looked at her, the way he made her feel desired, the way his masculine presence filled the room when he was focused on her. But when Leonard started detaching, Natalie noticed. At first, she acted indifferent. Then she started posting more. One Friday night, she uploaded a photo from a rooftop lounge, standing close to a man Leonard did not recognize. The photo was not romantic, but it was suggestive enough. A smile, a shoulder close to hers, a drink in her hand. The kind of image designed to make a man fill in the blanks. Old Leonard would have reacted. He would have checked the man's profile. He would have wondered whether Natalie was trying to replace him. He might have posted something in return, gone out just to prove he had options, or sent a cold message pretending he was not bothered. But this time he did nothing. He felt the sting because he was human. Then he put the phone down. He went to bed. The next morning he trained, opened his gym, and handled his day. No reaction, no question, no emotional performance. He understood something most men forget. Performers need an audience. And jealousy only works when you agree to watch the show. That is how you stay unshaken. You do not pretend jealousy never touches you. That is fake strength. Real strength is feeling the heat and not letting it drive your hands. You feel the thought rise. Is she with him? Is she trying to make me jealous? Did I lose her? Then you answer with discipline. If she wants another man, she is free to choose him. If she wants attention, she must earn it cleanly. If she wants to test me, I will not participate. That mindset makes you dangerous to manipulation, because jealousy feeds on comparison. It wants you to compare your body, your age, your income, your charm, your sexual energy, your entire value against a man you may not even know. That is weakness. A grounded man does not compete with shadows. He watches behavior and protects his peace. Leonard's silence changed the dynamic. Natalie expected some reaction, even a small one. When none came, she felt the difference. His attention was not easily provoked anymore. His masculine energy was no longer available for games. And that made him stronger in her mind, because he had stopped acting like a man who could be pulled by strings. So when jealousy enters the picture, stay still. Do not chase. Do not compete. Do not investigate. Do not post for revenge. Let her performance pass without applause. If she is serious, she will come with clarity. If she is playing, your calm will starve the game. If you are ready to stay steady when jealousy tries to move you, write this in the comments. I stay unshaken. Stay with me, because the next part shows why access to you must be earned, not handed back, because she finally knocks. Number 8. Make her earn access. Now listen carefully, folks, because this is where many men lose everything they work to rebuild. They detach, they hold silence, they stop reacting to breadcrumbs, they stay calm through jealousy. Then she finally reaches out, and one small message makes them forget every lesson. That is how easy access destroys power. A woman sends, "Hey, how have you been?" And suddenly he feels chosen again. She says, "I was thinking about you," and his chest opens. She says, "I miss your energy," and he starts acting like the past never happened. He replies fast. He becomes warm too quickly. He gives her the same access she once took for granted, before she has shown one clear sign that anything has truly changed. My friend, that is not detachment. That is emotional hunger, wearing a better suit. If she comes back after you detach, your job is not to punish her. Your job is not to act cold or arrogant. Your job is to stay grounded enough to ask one question: has she earned access again, or is she only testing the door? There is a difference. Testing the door sounds vague. Hope you are well. I saw something that reminded me of you. You have been quiet lately. These messages may sound soft, but softness is not accountability. A woman can miss your attention without respecting your standards. She can miss the way you made her feel desired without being ready to treat you with consistency. She can miss control more than connection. Access must be earned through behavior. Marcus Aurelius said, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one." Apply that here. A good man does not beg for respect, but he also does not hand himself back to confusion. He becomes the standard. He lets his actions say, "My time matters, my attention has value, and my peace is no longer available to anyone who treats it casually." So if she returns, slow down. Do not rush to restore the old rhythm. Do not give relationship-level warmth to a woman offering low-level effort. Do not let one message open every gate inside you. Keep your tone calm. Keep your pace measured. Watch what she does after the first contact. Does she communicate clearly? Does she take responsibility? Does she show consistency? Does she respect your time? Does she make real effort? Or does she only enjoy knowing she can still make you respond? Epictetus taught that no man is free who is not master of himself. This is the test of mastery. Can you hear from her without becoming the old version of you? Can you feel the attraction, the memory, the physical pull, and still choose discipline? Can you let her knock without throwing the door wide open? That is strength. Making her earn access does not mean making her suffer. It means refusing to reward uncertainty with full privilege. It means she does not get your time, emotional depth, masculine attention, and intimate warmth just because she got curious. Those things are valuable. They belong to a man who now knows what they are worth. A mature woman will respect this. She may even feel safer inside your standards, because standards show that you are not easily moved by every emotion. But a woman who only wanted control will become frustrated. She wanted the old door. She wanted the old version. She wanted easy access. Let her be disappointed. The right person does not need you to lower your value so they can enter your life. They rise to meet it. They show effort. They bring clarity. They prove through action that access to you will not be wasted again. So hold your frame. Be respectful but selective. Be calm but not wide open. Let her earn her way back through consistency, not chemistry alone. If you are ready to protect your access, write this in the comments. I require effort. Stay close, because the next part shows how everything changes when she realizes you are no longer the man she once knew. Number 9. Let her see you changed. Let's be honest, folks. Nothing shakes the old dynamic more than a woman realizing you are not the same man she used to move with one look, one message, or one little sign of warmth. She expected the old version. The man who checked her stories, the man who wondered what she meant, the man who felt her distance like a wound, the man who would come back the moment she opened the door a little. Then she sees something different. You are not chasing. You are not bitter. You are not performing strength. You are calm, focused, cleaner in your energy, sharper in your boundaries. Your attention is no longer scattered toward her like it used to be. Your desire is no longer begging for a place to land. And that, my friend, is when she begins to understand that detachment did not just change the connection, it changed you. Think about Marcus, 57, a sales executive in Dallas. He had been seeing Vanessa, 50, a woman with elegance, confidence, and the kind of feminine pull that made him feel alive after years of routine. Vanessa knew Marcus wanted her. She knew he liked her voice, her body language, her slow smile, the way she could make a simple dinner feel charged. And because she knew it, she started getting comfortable. She replied late. She cancelled when something better came up. She acted warm when she wanted attention, then distant when Marcus wanted consistency. For months, Marcus kept trying to keep the spark alive. He explained. He waited. He gave more patience than the connection deserved. Then he detached. At first, Vanessa assumed it was temporary. She thought he was just trying to make a point. But Marcus did something most men do not do. He did not stay silent while watching her life from the shadows. He changed his life. He started training seriously again. He upgraded his wardrobe with clothes that fit his frame. He took on a leadership role at work. He stopped drinking on weeknights. He spent more time with men who respected him. He slept better, spoke slower, and stopped carrying that needy tension in his face. A few months later, Vanessa saw him at a charity event downtown. Marcus greeted her politely, not coldly. He did not rush toward her. He did not ask why she had been distant. He did not try to restart the old chemistry. He simply stood there calm and grounded, like a man whose life had continued without needing her approval. Vanessa felt it immediately. This was not the man she could pull back with one soft message. This was not the man waiting for crumbs. This was not the man silently asking, "Do you still want me?" He had become harder to read because he was no longer emotionally open on demand. He had changed, and the change was not for her. That is what makes it powerful. When she sees you changed, do not explain it. Do not announce your growth. Do not tell her how much stronger you are now. Let your behavior carry the message. Let your calm voice, steady eye contact, improved presence, and controlled attention say what words would weaken. A man who has truly changed does not need to prove he changed. He lives it. And here is the key. You are not changing to make her regret. You are changing because the old version of you was too available, too reactive, too willing to trade peace for a little feminine warmth. Detachment exposed that weakness, and discipline replaced it with strength. If she notices, fine. If she does not, fine. Your growth is not a performance for her eyes. It is a promise to yourself that you will never again become easy access for someone who treats your value casually. If you are ready to become the man she no longer controls, write this in the comments. I have changed. Stay with me because the final part shows how standing firm in your worth keeps your power for good. Number 10. Stand firm in your worth. Here is the final truth, folks. Detachment means nothing if you still need someone else to confirm your value. You can stop chasing, hold silence, reject breadcrumbs, stay calm through jealousy, and make her earn access. But if deep inside you are still asking, "Do I matter now?" then you have not finished the lesson. Standing firm in your worth is the final level. It means your value does not rise when she texts and does not fall when she disappears. It does not depend on whether she misses your attention, regrets taking you for granted, or finally realizes you were the man she should have respected from the beginning. Those things may happen, they may not. A Stoic man does not build his identity on possibilities outside his control. He builds it on character. Ask yourself, did you keep your word today? Did you protect your peace? Did you train your body, discipline your mind, handle your responsibilities, and move with self-respect? Did you give your attention only where it was valued? Did you refuse to abandon yourself for a little warmth, a little beauty, little late-night desire wrapped in confusion? Those are the questions that matter. Most men lose themselves because they confuse being wanted with being valued. A woman may want your attention when she is lonely. She may want your masculine presence when her life feels unstable. She may want your desire because it makes her feel powerful, attractive, and alive. But wanting access to you is not the same as valuing you. Value is shown through respect, consistency, effort, and care. So stand firm. If she returns with soft words but no changed behavior, stand firm. If she tries to reopen the door with chemistry but no accountability, stand firm. If she makes you feel that old pull in your chest, that memory of her voice, her smile, the way she once made the room feel charged, stand firm. Desire is not a command. Attraction is not a contract. Your body may remember her, but your standards must lead you. This is where detachment becomes freedom. You stop asking, will she come back? You start asking, does my future need this energy? You stop asking, does she miss me? You start asking, do I miss the man I became when I was chasing her? You stop asking, did I win? You start realizing the win was never about her reaction. The win was getting yourself back. That is why standing firm is not coldness. It is order. It is a man placing his life under his own command again. It is knowing that the right woman does not need you to bleed for her attention. She does not require you to shrink, chase, or prove your value every week. She recognizes a man with standards and meets him with respect. And if she does not, you keep walking. No speech, no bitterness, no performance. Just a calm return to your own path. The world is full of people who will only value you when they feel you leaving. Do not make those people your home. Build a life where your peace is protected, your body is strong, your mind is clear, and your attention is selective. Stand firm in your worth when the phone is silent. Stand firm when she tests you. Stand firm when loneliness tries to negotiate. Stand firm when the past looks beautiful for a moment, because every time you stand firm, you teach yourself one thing. You are not the beggar. You are not the option. You are the man who finally remembers his own value and refuses to lose it again. From this point forward, let your worth be quiet, steady, and non-negotiable, not something you announce. Something you live until no one can bargain it down ever again. Folks, now you understand what happens when you truly detach. At first, she may act indifferent. Then she feels the loss of your attention. Her emotions shift, her pride gets tested, and she may send breadcrumbs, create jealousy, or try to regain access. But the real lesson is not about making her chase. It is about taking your power back. Detachment teaches you to stop begging, stop reacting, stop proving, and stop giving your masculine energy to someone who has not earned it. You stand firm in your worth, protect your peace, and become the kind of man who attracts through self-respect, not desperation. If you want deeper lessons on Stoicism, masculine detachment, emotional control, and becoming a man who never chases again, join the channel membership. That is where we go further and build the mindset most men never develop. And if this video gave you strength, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you do not miss tomorrow's lesson. Thank you for watching, my friend. Stay strong.